Okay. Y'all have been rocking with each other for a minute.
Yeah.
Longer than I even knew. Like so when did y'all first meet?
We were 12. We weren't dating when we were 12. We met when we were 12.
Yeah. Y'all like pigtails and now ladies. That's where y'all go back.
Yeah.
Yep, 12 years old, man. And I tell the story that I started out in music. I played the trumpet from middle school all the way through college. So I was up in my window practicing.
Getting on my nerves.
Yeah, she says getting on her nerves, but she was actually falling in love.
She was checking us. Whatever, getting on your nerves. He's like, hey, Mr. Trumpet Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm playing and days go by or whatever. So I go across the street because we had a mutual friend that I didn't know was a mutual friend at that time. It was just my friend Cindy.
Yeah.
So I go over Cindy's house on the regular. This day I go over and I'm like, Cindy, who's in the living room? Oh, that's my friend Larica. It's like, hook me up. Boy, shut up. She don't want you.
We were 12. I wasn't dating at 12.
Hey,
okay.
Boy at 12.
Okay. He was a boy at 12. I was yelling at the window like, why is he making all that noise? So I guess that was the crush thing, trying to diss him at the same time. But I'm just figuring all this out.
Right.
So you got 12. I went to Stewart Middle School. She went to No Middle School. And then we both ended up at
No is the name of the school for those who don't know.
Right. No Middle School.
She did go to middle school. The name
right.
NOE Middle School.
Right.
That's a good point.
NOE Middle School.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny because I used to say the same thing. Oh, you don't go to school then?
Right, you don't go to school. Right.
That is hilarious.
So we both ended up at the same high school, which was a youth performing arts school. And we did our academics at DuPont Manual High School.
Don't even start.
Where we also met your wife. We'll get to that.
She about to go into brag mode. I can feel it.
Listen, one of the best schools in the land. Hear me when I say.
So we, even then, in high school, we weren't even trying to kick it like that. We were just best friends. Yeah. We would kick it. We would hang out. Anything she did, her and her crew, me and my crew would hang. We would get together separately and just he and I would hang and go do something. But it was never any romance or anything. This was my partner. Yeah. And that's just how it was for years. I went to college. She went to a separate college.
We would try to hook each other up with, somebody
with our friends.
We're like, oh, okay, this might be a good fit for you. Holler at her. Holler. And it never worked out.
Worked out.
And we never looked at each other in any romantic.
Y'all during this hook a friend up phase, y'all never thought, well, I know him well enough or I know her well enough. Why don't we just never dawned on you?
No. And it's a good thing because at that time in my life, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
I was all over the place. You got to think, I had just signed a record deal. Mm-hmm. My group and I were blowing up. We're traveling all over the country. I got women everywhere.
Yeah.
In different area codes.
Listen.
Okay.
Listen.
So, y'all hear the voice. Y'all know it. Y'all hear the voice. Y'all hear the bad wife.
Yeah, if he busts out in that chocolate.
Nope.
Hey.
Let him do it. I'm sorry.
Two, three, four.
I was born by the river in a little
it. And oh, just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard to live it, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause who knows what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming. I know, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. And then I go to my brother, and I say, brother, help me please. And he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Whoa, there've been times that I thought, whoa, I would last too long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Oh, yes it will. It's gonna change. It's gonna change. Oh, yes it will.
Football might be over for this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pro and college hoops. Hey, it's your man Lloyd Spence, and listen, from all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the number one spot for all your sports betting needs. Here's what you got to do. Head over to the website or use your mobile devices to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, to get started. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds right to the Olympic coverage. It is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your number one online wagering destination. So, it's BetOnline, y'all, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. So go to BetOnline, where the game starts.
Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah. Can I make you move now? Yes, I can. So you can get this move in the back of a can. You can make it round the world when the moves in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. The Popcorn World. Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. NOIZ, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother NOIZ, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle NOIZ, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
Not getting high, so, not getting high, so. Making a way we can get.
Every lady on.
Good time.
Make up for something I ain't do yesterday.
Good time. Good time.
If you wanna have some good time.
Good time. Hey, we lucky we got 'em.
Yeah.
I'll bring you.
Good time.
Yo, good people of noise, media, and entertainment land. We're back. How y'all feeling? Everybody good? Everybody good? Look at me and Mama Noise in color coordination.
Okay.
Hey, red on the day. Hey, red is popping. The red is popping. The red is popping. I like it. I have something I have to do. And if y'all know a noisemakers, I need y'all to tag her immediately. This is my cousin. I'm gonna tag her too. But I need y'all to do this immediately. I forgot this. I think it's because we had a special guest and I let the day slip away from me and just got caught up in the conversation and just forgot to do it. Yesterday was my cousin Catherine's birthday, and she turned 70 yesterday. Now, normally I wouldn't talk about a woman's age, but look at her. My God, man, she looks amazing. I ain't gonna hold you, but my cousin Catherine is beautiful.
Well, you know.
Goodness gracious, that black just don't be doing nothing, man. It just be like, what? What you want, age? I ain't afraid of you.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to cousin Catherine.
Happy birthday.
It's her birthday. We're belated now, but you know.
I did say happy birthday on the birthday.
I did say happy birthday to her, I think, on the birthday, but I just wanted to shout her out on the show. And then there's another birthday, Noisemaker. He don't think I know, but I know. Sean Saunders, I know it's your birthday, man. I know it's your birthday. Go ahead. Go, Sean. It's your birthday. Go, Sean. It's your birthday. Okay. So I want to give him some birthday love as well. Appreciate him. Appreciate him. We go back like 4 flats in a Cadillac. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You feel me? You feel me? All right. So I just want to give all this birthday love that is deserving of the noisemakers out here in these streets. So just wanted to do that real quick. You feel me? All right. Now, with that being said, it's now time to call the church service to order. And just on time is the good pastor, Deacon, Reverend, Bishop, Cuz Noise is in the building. And so,
just in time for the.
I mean, just perfect timing, just impeccable timing, really, if you think about it. So, I am ready to turn the.
Can you see that I still have on my long johns?
Nope.
Well, we see a new pair of long johns. I don't know if that's not the same you on. Yeah, yes.
I don't want that in my mental Rolodex.
It's colder than a witch's breast out there.
It's cold, man. I ain't gonna hold you. It's cold. Listen.
I saw your efforts.
I did my best.
I can see your efforts.
What was his efforts?
Because he could have just as well. You know what they always talk about is colder than a witch's,
Oh, the titty. Yeah.
You know what, Lloyd? See, he's trying.
What?
You are the example of, I be trying to get out. They keep calling me. They keep pulling me back in. And you just.
Maybe we should just call things to worship. Because maybe
he was trying to call to worship with a right spirit.
My soul might be vexed. And that's why I did what I did. So I need to call it to worship.
Then
all right, let me get Cuz in here and just.
Here's again that we have assembled.
Yes.
Mama Noise and Mr. Noise have done their due diligence to bring to you yet another podcast that will bless your soul. So I say to you, one and all, leave your burdens at the door. Come on in here and get ready to catch this Holy Ghost. Because we are Talkin NOIZ Media.
Yes, yes.
It brings you information that only you can use. That's a right on time kind of word.
Yes.
I am Cuz Noise, and I am responsible for the foolishness on this podcast.
Yeah. Stir it up now, preacher.
Doing my best to clean it up. Because I'm tired of Mama Noah's faces and frowns and sighs. I'm sorry.
Hercules.
Catch your seat. Let's go.
We can't hear you, Mr. Noise. Your
I'm
mouth.
so proud of you. Also, I wasn't prepared for that last part though.
He the old he the old deacon that always taking it to.
Yeah, well, listen. There's always one. What is that on your chin? You got something on his chin?
Dessert. It was a crumb.
You know what?
I just didn't want.
You could have. You really didn't.
Too, so
that's what I was trying to avoid.
And see, you just keep trying to pull it back in.
I was trying to avoid that. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It's good. Al, have they released y'all to make the afternoon pickup early yet? Is that because I'm sure that's en route?
No, sir.
Really?
City of Louisville. The city of Louisville was like the Red Sea. The storm parted, and some of it went north of us, some of it went south of us. But for the most part, we stayed dry. During the early morning drive, there was a light mist, but because it was 29, 30 degrees, that was icing over. So it made some of the overpasses slick.
Right.
But the roads, for the most part, dry as a bone. So,
well,
we are on normal procedures today.
Well, thank you, Willard Scott, for that update.
Willard Scott, wow.
No, we need is a Smuckers.
He couldn't get Al Roker, at least.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I couldn't even get Al Roker.
Willard Scott.
He gave him an old retired white man. That's cold.
Well, he snuck that in yesterday too, saying I was a whitey, Shea Whitey.
Wow.
I caught that yesterday too.
Yeah, man.
Listen, Willard was the original Smuckers guy, so that's why.
Yeah, but we don't. I rep the frat. No, I ain't gonna never rep the white man over the frat. That's frat.
Hey, I ain't got nothing but mad love for what's his name?
Al Roker.
You didn't make the connection of the name Al to Al. I mean, you can.
Al Roker is still holding on.
Lies.
I respect Al as a father. He loves his family. I respect that brother.
Yeah. Well, you went to his white counterpart, so I don't know how much respect there really is, but whatever.
You respect him as a father, but not a weatherman. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Is that what you're saying? That's what it feels like.
Well, his counterpart is no longer alive, so he's no longer white. Wow. They turn colors.
That's a stretch.
They turn colors when they die.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
No, I won't let you.
This guy.
Mama Noise. He can't do it. He can't do it.
Are you saying that a black man can't tell the weather? It can't be a black meteorologist, a black man meteorologist.
No. You guys are misunderstanding. We have a black guy here in town on Channel 8, WFAA. I like him. What's his name? Yeah, that's him.
And he's from
Oak Cliff.
Kentucky.
No, he's not from Oakland. He's from Western Kentucky. He went to Western Kentucky.
And he went to Western Kentucky University, my alumni.
That's right.
So he all the way here telling the what?
Well, if y'all know all that, what's his name?
I can't remember
his name.
Bubba.
I can't remember his name.
His name is Bubba.
No, it's not.
Bubba. His name is not Bubba.
But you remember the Jelly Man, the Smucker Man?
Everybody knew Willard Scott. Come on.
I didn't know that he was the Jelly Man.
First of all, I'm not going to sit here and act like Smuckers is still a thing. Ain't nobody eating Smuckers no more.
Well, that's true. There's a lot more.
Greg Fields. That's his name, Greg Fields.
Thank you, Chad.
Thanks, Thanks, Chad. That's it.
Yeah, there you go.
And Greg is an outstanding citizen in this here community. He's a good guy.
Oh, he lives over where you live?
No, he lives in Oak Cliff.
Oh, wow.
Well, he might live in Oak Cliff, but he's from Kentucky. So what you're not going to do is short
discredit his upbringing. He came
right,
KY.
Right, doggone it.
He got the hell out of there as soon as he could.
No,
that's not true. That's not true. They made him a job offer, and he came. That's all it was. All that thing was about.
Just like your job offer, you got out of the cricket ladder
and went to the ARMY.
I was not offered a job. I just got the hell out of there.
What?
Is the ARMY not a job?
I thought it was.
Well, I considered it an adventure.
Oh, look at the recruiter coming back out of you.
Did he say an adventure?
It's not a job. It's an adventure.
It was my opportunity to get the hell out of Jackson.
Well, listen, you still got the talking points deep in your soul. And I feel it. I feel it. I understand. I get
it. Okay.
I feel it.
Talking points.
Yeah.
For 6 a.m. than we do all day.
I remember that.
We do more before 6 a.m. than most people do all day.
Before 5.
Listen. Until I went into the service, I didn't understand that, but that was the God honest truth. By the time 9 o'clock rolled around, we had done a full day's assignment.
Just because y'all up running, that don't mean y'all doing more than everybody else.
What?
Just because y'all was up running, that don't mean y'all do more than everybody else.
You get more than run in the ARMY. What are you talking about? Were you in the Army?
What else did y'all do in the morning?
Wait a minute.
What else did y'all do? Y'all ran around.
He's in God's army. Oh, Shundo.
I've been in God's army for quite some time. And we do more than anybody else. We get up and pray for you heathens.
We are soldiers in the army. Sometimes
we gotta hold up
the bloodstained banner. Hey!
Oh my goodness!
We got to hold it up until we die.
Until we die.
Y'all keep that shit up. You might die sooner than you think.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hey!
Listen here, Mr. Cemetery. Now,
what the hell?
I'll take my God's army over yours any day.
Hey, glory. Yeah, Willie Bobo. Yes. He's worthy.
I can't do it.
And if you think we're afraid of the ARMY over God's army, then
pull up on me. Pull up on me.
Oh my gosh. I can't do it.
You gonna learn today, nigga.
He said we be up praying for you heathens. Oh my gosh.
It's an interesting day today, y'all.
Indeed.
Interesting day today. Are we on the verge of something? Y'all think we on the verge of something?
We should ask Jay.
Yeah. Well, he got the inside and he can't tell us nothing. He'd have to kill us if he told us everything.
Well, but he should know the temperature. He should know the pulse.
Let's ask him. He's right there. Let's ask him.
Okay. Jay, with all the stuff that's being said about the Ukraine, and Russia.
About the Ukraine.
That's what. Is this on? The Ukraine.
About the Ukraine. About the blacks and about the Ukraine.
Can y'all hear me? I'm just.
What's wrong with y'all, man? Something is wrong with y'all.
About Russia and the Ukraine.
Okay.
I got up this morning and watched a documentary on the whole situation.
Oh my goodness.
But I don't understand it. Why now? Why now all of a sudden he want to bring everything back together?
It's not a why now. He's always wanted to do it. He's been prepping all these years and planning all these years. It's not a why now. This is something that's been in the works for a long time. He never not wanted to get the USSR back.
You mean he's trying to pull all the ones they lost back together to try to
to make
like Humpty Dumpty, put it all back together again?
Much like a broke up boy band, he wants to bring everybody back together and go on tour.
Okay.
And much like a boy band, he wants to make this money. That's what this
problem is. He can't do that because too many of them are now in NATO, and that's a losing battle for him. So he can't do that, but he can grab the ones that he can grab, which is what he's doing right now in the Ukraine. So that's taking place. But mark my words, good people, those of you that are out there in listening land, we will be drawn further into this conflict than you think. It's inevitable. There's no way around it.
I mean,
because he continues to do what he's doing, and if he attacks us with cyber attacks, yeah.
So did you feel like this is going to happen? This is inevitable. It's long overdue. This is Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. It's going to happen.
I don't necessarily believe in resets in life, but this is a reset. This is a pivotal moment. We will prove whether or not tyranny will be the superpower in this country, because China's already won. He's trying to get to that status. Or whether or not democracy and freedom will win out. So we have no other choice but to stand tall on this one.
Who will China side with?
Who gives a crap?
They're gonna side with somebody, aren't they?
Don't nobody care about China. China ain't gonna do nothing to mess with their money.
So China may sit this one out.
Yeah.
What about North Korea? Will they sit it out?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't think anybody really wants to smoke unless they.
This is a one-on-one. This is a one-on-one. This is rocket.
It's not a one-on-one.
Well, who else is going to join them?
It's Russia and Belarus, if you want to say that, but that's really Russia too.
Right.
Against Ukraine with the backing of NATO. That's not one-on-one.
Oh, so you think all of NATO is finally going to step up as a whole and fight?
No. I'm not saying we're going to fight necessarily, but we just may be drawn in eventually. It depends on how this thing goes, but we will do our best to bring Russia to their knees. And in that, he's going to have to fight back.
Well, isn't that what he released last night? Saying that anybody who interferes will receive the full weight of the country?
Right.
Is there any weight in Russia anymore?
I mean, they have the ability to cyber attack us.
Okay.
But both countries are nuclear power, so we don't want to go to war with Russia because of that. We want to keep those nuclear weapons on lockdown. But it's going to be interesting, because I believe the president of the United States is getting ready to drop the hammer on his country financially. And and we can break them.
Lloyd, that's what you said this morning.
Yeah, it's all. Listen, at the end of the day, this is about power and money, and you know.
I mean, it was really interesting. I know that you give me the business about the documentaries. However, there was a whole lot of information about the Ukraine that a lot of people, if they're not history buffs, don't understand.
Did the documentary say the Ukraine, or did it say about Ukraine?
The Ukraine.
Is that what the documentary said?
I'm saying the Ukraine, the country.
It's just most people just say they just say Ukraine. They don't really say the.
You know what? Stop trying to correct my grammar and listen to what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that there's a lot of concern because the Ukraine has a whole lot of nuclear weaponry and all that type of stuff was hidden in the country.
They don't have it.
That documentary was false.
No, it wasn't.
They don't have nuclear weapons. They have the technology.
They told you they have nuclear weapons. It was false.
They have the know-how, but they don't have nuclear weapons. If they had nuclear weapons, Russia wouldn't have attacked.
This would have never happened, right?
I think that's where they stored a lot of the nuclear weapons in the past, when they were still under the under Russia, before they became a sovereign.
I don't disagree with you, Mama Norris. Not at all.
Well, there was a whole lot of resources, a whole lot of iron, and all these other things that are in that country that Russia wants.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, it's a nice country. It's a very wheat is a huge trade.
Right. That's another one of their resources they were talking about they want. But I think that I just don't understand. Are they just trying to hurt all? I mean, how is it helping if you hurt all these people? How is it that
they're not really trying to hurt a bunch of people. What they're trying to do is get rid of the government that's not pro-Russia. See, Belarus is pro-Russia. The government there is pro-Russia. They're trying to install a pro-Russia country. That's all they're trying to do.
they're trying to get? They don't like that it's being westernized. They like it prefer that it be back at like it was in the old country.
That Ukraine would like to be a part of NATO eventually.
Yeah, they don't want all that, trying to keep it the old way that it's always been. I thought it was a very detailed, very thorough documentary about how certain parts of it, they don't even speak any English at all. They're trying to keep it where all they speak is Russian. But I mean, it was so thorough. It was mind-boggling. I didn't know. I paid attention in history class. They even mentioned the Stalin situation and how he just starved out a whole bunch of people, then brought in more Russians trying to create a whole nother country. I mean, it's very scary. All of it's very scary. From over here on this side of the pond.
You think it's scary, Mama Noise?
When you watch it and you sit there thinking, oh, I remember this in history class, and you saying we having this conversation now? I thought it was just, not to say that stuff wasn't going to still keep happening in life, but I just thought that, this was a deaded issue. I didn't think that this was something that we going to have on Twitter where we got Putin making a comment that, anybody who try to help Ukraine.
I want to give you a rule of thumb for government and history in historical world issues and views.
Okay.
As long as power can be obtained, then people will try to obtain it. It's that simple. That has been the battle and the challenge of history throughout history. Who rules the world?
Girls.
I don't know what just happened.
No. Girls run this mother.
What is happening?
That's what the song says. That's what song says.
I don't know what's happening right now. But that's where we are. Girls could rule the world if they wanted to.
Okay, I think we've taken a turn.
That's true. Girls could rule the world.
I'm pretty sure that's not.
How about this whole war could end if women would just say, "Well, listen, if y'all don't knock it off, ain't none of y'all getting no." They'd be like, everybody would be like, "Oh no, we got to stop."
Oh my gosh.
I'm just saying it would knock off real fast. Everybody be like, "Nah, we could knock this off." Putin would call Biden. Hey, bro, let's figure out.
It would definitely adjust quite a few act rights.
Oh yeah.
We are about to experience some financial troubles in this country
because of this.
Yeah.
And Putin's flex, his threat was just to expedite that, because he does have the power to temporarily cripple our economic structure. So those cyber attacks.
I don't know if he can cripple us, but he can cause
temporarily. He can.
We can cripple them.
The
reality is, when gas goes to $4 a gallon, and it looks like it will on a national level, $4 a gallon, that's painful to Americans.
Well, it'll be $4 here. It'll be $4 here. In California, it'll be like $9, because they always have.
It'll at least be $7.
Yeah, it's gonna be expensive.
That's hard.
And everything. And listen, we're already in not a horrible financial crisis, but we're in a little bit of a challenge. You know, stuff is going up.
Stuff's expensive. Yeah, stuff's expensive.
Yeah, 20 cents here, 40 cents there. You know, that kind of thing.
People are working. We don't have an unemployment issue. We just have
So what are the sanctions gonna do? You said that he's probably gonna have to up the sanctions. Are they really gonna do anything?
You know, you'd be amazed. I did a Google map through Moscow.
Are you saying Moscow?
Moscow, whatever you want to call it.
I thought you said Moscow. Okay,
most people call it Moscow, and let's go with that for so as not to confuse the others.
Okay, I was a little concerned.
Did I say something wrong, Mama Noise?
I was trying to figure out why you was talking about your skull. I didn't know what was happening.
But for the sake of your argument, you can call it Moscow, whatever.
Okay.
Phonetically, it's correct. So let's move on.
I did a Google map through it. You know, some of us need to realize we are not able to financially or political reasons, whatever the reasons are. You know, you can travel just about anywhere you want to travel on Google Maps.
Mm-hmm. Oh
true.
Yeah.
You put your ass right there in Times Square in the United States, so you put your ass right there in the Red Square in Russia, wherever you want to go. And as I was clicking through Moscow, whatever you want to call it. Damn, you talking about the number of very expensive cars on this communist country's roads. Much more than we see here. I mean, really, really rich cars. There's a lot of money there. There's a lot of corruption there. So the money is, this word oligarch. We don't fully know what that word means, do we? Am I the only slow one on here?
I know what it means.
What the hell is an oligarch? Okay, well.
Are you asking us what the oligarch is?
Do you know what an oligarch is?
Are you using a word that you don't know how to define?
I know what it means, but
well, go ahead and tell us what it means then.
Oh shit!
Oh my, this is
we don't use that kind of word. Oligarch. What the hell is an oligarch? It's the very rich elite class in Russia, and they finance Putin.
Well,
they are like the rich businessmen, the rich kids of the up and in political class. Those are the oligarchs.
The Russian version of the Illuminati.
Right.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Al.
So there's a lot of money in that country, and the sanctions are going to be designed to put the squeeze on that money in those countries, because those people are used to living a certain lifestyle. And once you start affecting them, then they will start affecting what Putin is getting. When you take their money, they can't give to Putin. And that's a part of the squeeze. And then the country won't be able to refinance their debt because we're going to put a squeeze on the central bank. So that there's a lot we can do to hurt them financially.
It's I better be careful how I say this. It's an interesting study in sociological and historical patterns, because if we're being honest, it's the only thing different is the intention. If we're being honest, the only thing different is the intention. Their 1% wants to take over the world one way, and their motivation is power. Whereas there's another country that we're very familiar with that wants to take over the world, and their motivation is money, because they believe money is power.
You know what you're gonna have to do is start naming names, because you just can't keep throwing out. There's one.
Well, I mean, you know. I think we all know what I'm talking about. We're talking about.
Talk to us now. Tell us what you're talking about.
Listen, man, I'm trying to keep us on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Well, you gotta at least give us better hints than that.
I'll just say the home team wants to do it through the fellas of Rocker and the people here in New York City. They would prefer to do basically the exact same thing, but
okay,
a financial situation.
Okay,
it's not much different.
Oh, put it in the chat, because Cuz is looking like a deer in headlights.
He knows what I'm talking about.
No,
he's trying to act like you don't.
Yeah, he does. He knows exactly, but
he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah,
that certain percentage of people.
Well, 1% is 1%. And then the control of the 1% doesn't change based on the country. The influence of the 1% doesn't change in the country. Now, the desired outcomes may change, but 1% is 1%. I can get an audience with the government, with the way things are ran, with the way things are done, and what I have can control what happens, the outcomes. So what do we want the outcomes to be? That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
You know, I'm going to disagree with you simply because I can.
And you want to, because that's just how you are.
And because in large part, you're not correct.
Okay, tell me why I'm not correct.
1% in Russia is totally about themselves. 1% in this country is not.
You believe that?
Be careful now. Be careful.
I'm saying you believe that? Do you really believe that? Are you being serious?
Now, the 1% in this country wants to continue to be the 1%. The 1% in this country wants to continue to have laws that allow them to remain in the 1%. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree that they work the system in order to keep their status. But Warren Buffett is a part of the 1%.
Financially, yes. Not more.
No. What you ain't gonna do is change it from finance to mentality. Come on now. You said 1%.
It is finance and mentality.
You said 1%. You was talking about money.
No, I said the 1% wants the outcome that they want. That's what I said. Amazon's First of all, we are absolutely putting together a merchandising T-shirt that says shit hell. Just FYI.
Amazon's ex-wife, Bezos' ex-wife.
She's 1%.
1%.
Now,
and what is she doing with the money?
Well, first of all, I appreciate you pulling out the one example that would lead to an argument.
That's not one. listen, the truth of the matter is most true 1%ers, I ain't talking about those that want to be 1%ers. I'm talking about most true 1%ers give away most of their money.
Because I appreciate you recrafting the narrative the way that you have, you and I both know that there is a group of people that have always had their influential hand on Washington and will continue to have their influential hand on.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree.
Oh, that's the 1% nigga that we're talking about. Don't be throwing in these ancillary names like you don't know what I'm talking about.
It's not the same, though. Not the same.
You know what, cuz?
Anybody that's in the 1% is going to want the laws to stay favorable to them so that they continue to be in the 1%.
You know what, cuz?
Come on.
I appreciate your the way you brought the church service today.
Protestant or Catholic. You still want the laws to stay favorable, sure.
I appreciate the way you brought the church service together today. It was amazing. And then you drifted off out of your own message and went to bullshit. It is amazing to me how fast you transition over from one thing to the other. It is fascinating, quite honestly. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Corey said, shout out to your Mississippi brothers. He said, not true. Don't be fooled by the small stuff. They don't give away nothing that is noticeable. And Cuz knows that, Corey. He knows that.
You ask those HBCUs that money that they're getting from that Wahite woman, whether or not it's noticeable or not.
Because she's not the 1%. She's only the 1% in financial paper, but really she don't come from the 1%. We are talking, and you know this because you're a smart man, even though you're doing crazy stuff today. There are a lot, that 1% is a historical group that continues to perpetuate their will upon the United States of America. You know that. You know that. You're smart. You know that. You know what happens out of Rockefeller Plaza, don't you? Surely you know that. Come on now. I'm trying not to get us shut down because I like what we do here every day. but you know that. We all know that. That's actually what makes the group so influential because they do it in our face. Tell them to give away some land and see how much they give away. Mama Noise, where'd you go? Are you looking up a documentary for this or what are you doing? I don't know where she went, but okay, maybe she's okay. She'll be back. But we digress. You know, we don't want to bring down people or freak people out today. That was actually not our goal of a show today. Matter of fact, I honestly, my goal is never really to disturb anybody's peace of mind. I'm trying to keep your peace of mind strong. And the best way for me to do that is to turn you on to the things that bring you peace of mind. Like my good friends at NordVPN. NordVPN is all about that peace of mind life. They especially when you go online. You want to be able to go online without threats. And no better time to do that now that we got stuff going on in the world that could mess up your online situation. So you want to get a VPN that's going to help you protect your online situation. NordVPN is the world's best. It offers fast connectivity, the most servers, next-gen encryption to make sure that everything you do online stays secure. Unlimited bandwidth. You never have to worry about slow connection either. And it doesn't matter what your operating system is on your computer or any other devices. And the plans start under $4 a month. So all you got to do is grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/believe or use the code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to get up to 70% off your NordVPN plan plus one additional month free. It's risk-free for 30 days, and there's a money-back guarantee. So in these troubled times that we're living in now, check out NordVPN to help you stay secure. There you go.
In these troubled times.
These troubled times. Why you looking like that, cuz? You got that look on your face like you just concerned.
I'm waiting for you to get going. I'm good.
Are they gonna call you? They're not gonna call you back into this man's ARNY, are they?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going
on. What does that Corey say? So I'm trying to think of the man that stated if you give everyone in this country $5 million in less than 5 years, they will give it back, and that can be proven by looking at those stimulus. That's probably true. Yeah, that goes to Cuz's argument, which I agree with, that money is not our problem. Which brings us to our topic today. And I'm going to start our topic off this way. I have watched the first 2 documentary episodes, and yes, this is a documentary, of Kanye West called Genius. Now, I fear this third one is going to piss me off, but at least I saw the first 2. And I have to be honest with you. I watching those documentaries, because they're 2 hours. It's 2 hours, 2.5 hours so far. Watching the documentaries made me realize why Kanye is both beloved and hated all at the same time. And it's a tricky narrative because there's a lot to love about Kanye West. There's a lot to love. The quintessential underdog, the quintessential believe in yourself despite others not believing in you. I mean, all of those things, when you look at it, when you look at the relationship between him and his mother, it really is quite fascinating. But also when you look at it, you realize that it's a volatile place always in his life, because and you're seeing it play out in real time, because his whole life was, if one thing goes wrong, it's all going to just go haywire. And that's kind of what happened. And I know that this next level, that is one last piece they're going to do. And I know the last piece is going to focus on the death of his mother and, the collapse of his mental stability and all of those type of things. But going back to the first part, his desire to save himself was impeccable, because all the odds were stacked against him. And he signed to a record label that, quite honestly, didn't even believe in him. They believed in his production, but they didn't believe him in as a rapper, because he really wasn't what they did. And they didn't understand what he did. And that makes sense, because we had never really seen anybody do what he did. So it was kind of like, what is this? I mean, what are you going to be rapping about? What is your subject matter? And so it was a weird kind of thing. But it brought me to this place. Do we have in us what it takes to truly, if I can say it this way, this is probably not the best way to say it, but it is topical. Do we have in us what it takes to save ourselves from ourselves and from our circumstances? Do we have what it takes to save ourselves from ourselves and our circumstances? Because here's the reality. Some of y'all are not going to like what I'm about to say, but I don't know if I'm wrong. And Cuz says this all the time. We pray to God to ask God to do something that he has already given us the tools to do. The question is, are we going to use those tools to actually do what it takes to save ourselves? We're looking for a savior, and that savior is really within us. So I'm curious to know everybody's thoughts on this topic, because I watched Kanye in that documentary. His label shut down his budget after he got into his car accident. They did something what we call, they closed the budget from the record label. So the hundreds of $1,000s that they were supposed to give him to finish his album and to shoot the first video and to pay off producers and pay off engineers, they shut the whole budget down. He didn't have access to any money. Kanye said, okay, this is what y'all gonna do. That's fine. I'll just use my personal capital and my abilities and find a different way to get this done. And he basically paid for his entire album and the first video all himself. Now he had to call in some favors and make some exchanges and probably had to give away some beats for free and a whole bunch of other stuff. It probably cost himself quite a bit of money, but it worked. He bet on himself. He forced the hand of his label and he won. But that's a huge bet because it's costing you money. You ain't gaining nothing for it. You're paying. You're sacrificing. You're losing. Can we stand to lose in order to win? Would you lose in order to save yourself? So that's the question I'm asking you guys. You're muted, Mama Noise.
I'm just playing back what you said. Would you lose in order to win?
Because what if God told you, I'm going to need you to take some L's here, but these L's are going to lead to a massive win? Isn't that really what Christ did? Do we want to go Bible? Bro, you're going to take a massive L, but you're going to save yourself and the world in the process.
Makes sense.
So I'm asking, do we have what it takes individually, and dare I even say collectively, as a Black community? We'll even extend that question out to that. To take the L's we need to take in order to win.
Wow. That's a lot.
Well, that's what we do on this show.
Well, what I'm saying is because we've lost so much, and you're saying to lose even more in hopes of winning. As a people, you're saying, oh, take some more L's. We feel like we've been taking L's since we got here. And you say, well, it's going to be good in the by and by. Okay. I don't know what movie I was watching, but they said, Mama, I know we're supposed to get the by and by, but I would like some right now. So I can say all of my loss for all those years was for something, accounts for something.
And Corrice, I have seen that. That interview on the Pivot podcast, and I agree with you. 100%.
Yeah, that was a powerful interview.
I look at it like this, and maybe I'm off on what you're saying, but name someone that you admire that didn't take responsibility for their situation.
You preaching now.
That didn't take full responsibility for their situation.
Now, before you finish that statement, I want you to unpack that phrasing, because we use that phrasing a lot. Taking full responsibility. What does that mean? Define that for everybody.
Here's how I look at it.
Okay.
If it's to be, it's up to me in my own life. It's not up to anybody else.
We in it now, boy. We are in it now.
And until you get that mentality, you will always come up short because you're dependent on someone else to move the ball in your life. All I could do is all I can do, but the reality is all I could do is really good enough. I just got to do it. So it leads back to the question. Name somebody that you admire that didn't take full responsibility for their situation and their life.
I don't know anybody
I
that I admire.
I don't know anybody. Anybody that you just think for 2 more seconds. I'll give you 10. Name somebody that you really admire that didn't take responsibility. So you know what? This happened to me, but I'm going to do this with it. You know, I want to be this, and I'm going to do it.
But I think the challenge of what you just said is that taking full responsibility of your situation does not necessarily mean that you immediately come out with the W at the point of the ownership. And that's where I think the challenge of all of what you're saying is, because many of us think, well, if I take responsibility, I'm going to start winning immediately. No, that's not what we're saying. In fact, it's more likely that you're probably not out the gate. You're not going to win immediately coming out of the gate. That's not usually how this works. Because if you're taking the ownership of it all, then it probably means that in some form or fashion, some kind of setback or pain is attached to the ownership. Maybe even trauma.
Just look at, and I hope like hell, she writes a book and discusses it out loud.
Okay.
On her show. But just look at Sherry Shepherd. Y'all got to know Sherry Shepherd has been kicked quite a few times. She's been down. She's been down.
She's been publicly ostracized.
A few times.
Yes.
A few times. Let's run it down. We're talking about an acting career that was, I don't want to shame her because I don't think that's fair, but it's the reality though. She was celebrated as an actress far more for her physical appearance than she was for her talent. And she's a talented sister.
Boom, boom, Belinda.
Yeah, they used her physical appearance and that was the butt of the joke. That's how she entered the game. Then she went into stand-up comedy and no one really took her seriously. They kind of did, but they kind of didn't. Then she made it to The View somehow, and that was a whole thing. And we're not even gonna get into her marriages and all of the hell she went through in, is it 2 marriages? I want to say it was 2.
I only know 1, but it was a rough one because
it was a rough one. It was a public.
You sued her.
Yeah, it was a public nightmare to say the least. So she has been up and down and up and down and up and down, and this opportunity is not one that she was given per se. She just kind of stumbled into it.
Well, here's what she did. She never lost faith.
Never.
She kept doing what she could do. She never stopped. Though technically, if y'all think about it, Sherry Shepherd was kind of forgotten about here for
totally, yeah.
Well, especially after that last marriage. That last marriage was
it 2 marriages? Was it 2?
I don't know about the person.
I'll go ahead. I'll find it.
I know about the young dude that she was with, and I think she had to pay him alimony or something like that. And they were really reeking her over the coals about that. Like, you know, and now it seems to be a thing because that's the same thing that's happening with Mary J. Blige. You know, having to pay your husband alimony and that was like taboo. That's not something that was frequently heard of at that time, is for a woman to have to pay a man alimony. But they was like, that young dude came in and flipped her script, and then I think, I don't know if he went off with somebody else, but I think it was infidelity as to the reason why their marriage dissolved. But the big, he was younger and she was older thing was also something that was magnified.
Okay, so what it was I thought it was 2, but it wasn't really 2. What it was she was married to one guy. That ended bad, even though they had a son. And then she was engaged to the other guy, and it fell apart after 3 years. But it fell apart in a very big public way. It was not a small thing. It was very, because it was a surrogacy thing tied to it, and it was
very public.
It was very public and very, dare I say, traumatizing, to say the least.
Yeah.
So no, she wasn't technically married twice. She was in.
She could have easily been because.
Well, she was married twice. I'm sorry, she was married twice. So it was a marriage. Okay. Oh, so they did marry. I thought they just got engaged.
Okay, I was going to say I didn't.
Yeah. But it was bad. It was very bad. It was very bad.
She was married twice.
Yeah, she was married twice. Yeah.
But she could have easily made herself out to be a victim.
Yeah.
Because when stuff like that happens to you, failed marriages, a career that won't do what you wanted to do, trying your best to be noticed and not getting noticed, or getting noticed for the wrong reason, she could have easily have made herself out to be a victim. But she kept pushing, and she kept doing her work.
Right.
And this show, guys, will be a success. Sherry has the personality to pull it off.
Oh, yeah.
That's why she's so damn successful on the Wendy Show.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she's poised. You know, it's funny because we have not technically really had anyone to step into the Oprah seat since Oprah left.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people thought it was going to be Ellen DeGeneres, but she really wasn't built for it. Because there's a lack of.
Ellen was successful now. Ellen
was successful in her own way, but not. She couldn't really step into the seat that Oprah had. There's an authenticity.
She couldn't connect. She couldn't connect.
Yeah, not to everybody. Not to everybody.
Right.
Whereas with Sherry,
she can connect.
She might be able to do it because everybody can relate to who she is and what she's been through.
And she's willing to put it all out there. She's
willing to put it out there. That her greatest quality is her authenticity and transparency.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think if she stays in that mode, she's going to be great. She's going to be great. But again, one of the things that I think you should highlight it because she kept going. She kept going. And that, to me, that is one of the hardest things in the journey of saving yourself that a lot of people are missing, because it's so easy to give up on whatever that dream is or whatever that ideology is and to go a different route, because it is hard. It is hard. Listen, it is very, very hard to take ownership. And I'm going to say something to Carice. He ain't going to like it, but I'm going to say it. He said Jay-Z not taking ownership of him selling out Colin with the NFL. Here it comes. You ready for this, Carice?
Uh-oh.
Oh man. I don't know if Jay-Z or anybody else can be blamed for Colin not making it back to the NFL. Colin might be to blame. Colin not making it back to the NFL.
Did he ever want to get back to the NFL?
Yeah, that's the question that I have.
Oh yeah, he wanted to get back. Oh yeah, he wanted to.
But he wanted it on his terms.
But he became too bitter.
Right.
Okay.
Which is hard to blame. It's not, it's
not hard to understand why. Yeah, no question about it. That's the part that I was headed. You and I are on the same page, because this last opportunity that was about to be given to him, you got to understand, bro, what is the reality of what is taking place. And that's not to say that you were wrong. That's just to say here's the reality. Do you want this functional reality or not? Because if you do, then you take it and you run with it regardless of what it is. If you don't, then I don't know what your path back to the NFL is.
You know, as Black people, I'm not really sure, and Carice and you guys can help me out with this. I'm not really sure we all the time want success as much as we want a martyr. We want somebody to fall on the sword for our cause, and to keep it real. If Colin had gotten back in the NFL, he would have lost some of his supporters.
Yeah,
because they would have said, "Oh man, you sold us out. All you cared about was the money." But the same issues are going on. The same problems we're still experiencing, and you took your ass on back in there and took the money from the white man.
Well, let me say this. He got some of that anyway because of the settlement.
That's true. That's true.
He got some of that anyway because of the settlement. He said, "I'm gonna take this money," and they were like, and so I appreciate a martyr for, I guess if I can say it this way, the right reasons. But I want a hero. I want a champion. I want somebody that can go the distance. Because to me, the person that can go the distance leaves the better example. Because more of us are going to end up having to fight through it than to die for it. Does that make sense? Like, as Black people, very few of us are going to take up the mantle of a martyr. That requires a lot. And to die on the sword, like you said, because we ain't up for that. We don't want none of that. So then that leaves us only two other options. Either you quit and go another route, or you go all the way through it. Go ahead.
But we talk like that's what we want.
We talk like right.
We talk a good game. Or the old folks used to tell me, "You're just talking." The rubber meets the road. You want somebody else to take that mantle, but you're not willing to do it.
Let's unpack something real quick that has been a thorn in my craw for quite some time, and not because I hold these people egregiously for this, but just because I understand their inability to understand the moment that they were in. 2 years ago, we were screaming names like Sean, what's the Wahite black man or black Wahite that everybody is crucified right now. Sean, what's his name?
I can't think of his name right now.
You know what I'm talking about, the little light skin.
Yeah, the one who bought the house.
Everybody full on white. I don't know, but Sean, whatever his name was, Sean. Oh, somebody in the chat tell me what I'm talking about. He fought for Black Lives Matter and to raise money and all that. Sean King, thank you, Albie. So we were talking about Sean King and all of his efforts, and we were talking about Tamika Mallory, and Tamika is fighting for us, and we even wanted Tamika on this show. We wanted on this show, and then all of a sudden, all of that Black Lives Matter, all of that is gone. Where's Sean King? Where's Tamika? They didn't sell out. Well, Tamika got a book deal. We ain't heard from her since.
And a film deal.
Right. Sean got a house on the hills, and we ain't heard from him since. Black Lives Matter resigned. It was like, we got other things that we can do. They got a book. The founder got a book deal. Patrice Cullors got a book deal and a movie deal, and they moved on. We say we want martyrs, like Cuz said, but the martyrs don't even want to be martyrs.
Wow.
Well, I think it's very difficult to be one for Black people. In part because we act like we're bipolar.
Yo,
Damned if
Corey,
you
you
do.
must have heard about Black Lives Matter. Go. We'll get back to that in a minute. Go ahead.
Damned if you do, and damned if you don't.
Yeah.
And we don't really, we historically don't really support or back the people that stand for us. Historically, we didn't really support Malcolm as much as we do now.
Right.
A lot of us had issues with him. That's why it was the Malcolm versus the Martin. So we don't really know what we want. Just look at Jesse, how we ran his name through the mud. Now maybe Jesse deserves some of it. Look at Al Sharpton. Black folks ain't really supporting Al Sharpton.
Right.
We treat him as if he's a caricature, a clown, a bobblehead now because he's lost so much weight. But the battle that they do on a daily basis, the seen and unseen, it's not easy work trying to lift up Black people because we will tear you down in the process.
Very true.
So you have to really have a love for Negroes in order to fight for Negroes, because I'm telling you, don't expect pats on the back and lifting up, because that ain't who we are.
But can I ask this question? Is that what we need? Do we need somebody fighting for Negroes? Is that maybe the problem?
We do need representation, because if someone doesn't hold authority, lawmakers and our legal system's feet to the fire, they will, I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it, Mama Noise, they will fuck us over. That's the whole truth. Somebody has to do it. Just look at this case with the case that they just found them guilty on the federal. I can't think of the guy's name.
Ahmaud Arbery.
There you go.
Yeah.
How they were going to sweep that thing under the rug. And until the family really fought. And then you have to get a lawyer to get in front of the media and fight. And until that happened, nothing was going to happen to those Wahites.
Yeah.
And Dwight, what's that child's name? Juan, right? Is it?
Right.
Dante.
Wasn't that going to happen to Dante, even though they had the cameras?
No.
You know.
But listen now, and I know this might rub you wrong, Mr. Noise. But we're willing to slam whatever that lawyer's name is.
Benjamin Crump.
Benjamin Crump.
We don't call him Crump anymore. We call him Chump.
I didn't know that we called him that, but okay.
If you stand up for Black people will eventually attack you. We do it all the time.
Wow.
Did we do that to Martin?
Yeah, a lot of us didn't agree with Martin. We didn't want that nonviolent stuff.
Well, yeah.
Hold on. Agreeing with the tactic and actually vilifying him for his efforts is two different things.
They were telling Martin he was going too far. A lot of us backed away from him totally.
Just think about what he said when little Black boys and little white girls. Wait a minute. You're like, hold up, Martin. That ain't what we talked about. We talked about Black people. Now you saying our kids can come together and
I understand what Carice is saying about Sean's daughter that got in a car accident. That is true. And she's, I don't know if she's still recovering or what the case may be. But that ain't what people was talking about. And let's say he said Black Lives Matter moved millions of dollars to a Canada charity run by that they used to purchase right. It was, and we we've talked about this on this show before, and I don't want to get too far off the original premise of the show, but is it? But I've asked you this before on the show, cause is it okay to question what our leaders do?
Are you breaking up, or is my internet bad?
It may be a little bit of both. Is it okay to question what our leaders do? Because like when we did the deep dive on this show with Black Lives Matter, it did not unfold well.
You have to be very careful. I've said this before on this show. You have to be very careful questioning in public.
Oh.
You got to be very careful doing that, because there are people that's waiting to find a weakness in the link, in the chain, that are just waiting for us to fail. So if we start speaking as if we have doubts about what it is we're trying to do, then they're going to jump on it and magnify it.
Yeah, like everything we talk about here ends up in my news feed.
That's funny. And while I don't disagree with what you're saying, that we do need to have a carefulness about how we approach certain things, when the egregiousness of the act is public, shouldn't the questioning be public also?
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. When you are a criminal, when you are a bad actor that embarrasses and demeans our efforts to lift ourselves up, yes, you should be held accountable in the public eye.
Because it's no different than what we did here when the good Reverend Pastor broke up with Megan Good so publicly and said it was just, we just on two different pages, and I'm so grateful for the sunrise and the sunset of our situation and blah 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 blah. We were like, bruh, you are full of it. We said that publicly.
Well, they were not fighting for black causes. They were
black marriage is a black cause.
Well, I mean, I'm speaking more of a movement as a people. I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But when you destroy a marriage, that's more of a personal thing that has a long-term effect on our community. I don't disagree with that. But I as a man should be able to speak to you as a man. I call you out as a man and tell you where, listen, we as men need to call each other out more on our manhood and stop making up excuses and pretending that, okay, so listen, there's a lot of us as black men that if you criticize black men in public, a lot of us get offended. We don't want to air our dirty laundry in public. But I don't believe there's no other way to hold us accountable in public, because what we're doing in public is egregious. The disease that's destroying our community, called single parent homes, is destroying our community.
Right.
So we have to call that out and let these young men know, all these men know.
Well, to your point, and I think that's where my thought process is in this particular area, and then we'll get back on the other side over here.
Okay.
Because this is also an excellent topic that we're talking about. We've allowed so many things to be done in the shadows for so long without questioning what it is and saying, hey, what is this thing you're doing over here that we're not discussing publicly? And then on the backside of it, we discovered that it was a lot more egregious than we realized, and then it's too late at that point. And I understand what Lillian is trying to say, but Lillian, that is local chapters you're talking about. What we're talking about is the bigger picture. And go to the website; it's right there in plain sight. The things that they've done and are not doing. So no, it's not the same. And Carice, I completely understand what you're saying, because black people got on the Dr. Umar Johnson train and was like, oh my God, look how he's speaking, look how he's this, that, and the other, and sent that brother money and this, that, and the other, and then you go, wait a minute, what in the hell? You're like, so it's happening out loud, and so you got to question. It's almost like you almost have to question it out loud, because otherwise it won't stop. It'll just keep being bad.
Well, I guess then I don't like the questioning out loud.
Sure.
When you do wrong, then I'm not questioning you. I'm telling you, your ass is destroying our community. I'm not saying, why are you doing this and why are you... I guess that may be semantics. I'm not really sure, but
I don't know. Again, yeah, I'm not. Maybe that's another show and topic for another day. Handle your situation. But I want to get back to what we were just discussing here just a second, because I think that's important. So we were talking about initially how to save yourself. Right. And I honestly, that stick-to-itiveness that it takes to fight through the hard parts of it is what I'm actually talking about in regards to what we're saying. I like what you asked, because how we got to this other part was that you said about, you were talking about martyrs, cuz, and I think you brought up a really important part of this conversation. We there's three choices: martyrdom, go back, go back and do something different, and don't keep going through the hard parts, or you go through the hard parts. And it's going through the hard parts that I think is the challenge, because, man, the hard parts, like Mama Noise said, means that even though you've taken L's, you still may have to take a few more L's, like Sherry Shepherd did, like she did. That's what happened to her. She had to take some L's, some serious L's, humiliating L's before she got. Now, I'm not saying everybody's gonna have to take humiliating L's, but I'm saying it may not be an easy path to the breakthrough point. And do you have the wherewithal to keep going in regards to where you're trying to get to, still believing in where you're trying to get to? Does that make sense?
You can't make the L's about you. If you internalize your struggle in any area of your life, if you internalize it, you will always avoid it. Because now you've made it about you. So now I'm going to do whatever I have to do to avoid that pain. But the reality is you have to walk it through in order to get to the other side. And then and only then, that's why I hope she writes a book and discusses it all over the country. Then and only then can I claim success. Listen, most of us are not successful. Most of us are not where we want to be in life because of us and nobody else.
Wow, yeah.
But is it us or I?
Me.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah, I think you said I. Yeah,
that's what I meant. I'm not where I want to be because of me. I either ran up against a wall and I said, you know what, I don't want to hit that wall no more, and I backed the hell off and went a different direction. Something happened along the way that made me stumble, and I don't want to stumble anymore. So now I take an easier route.
But the point of the stumble is to learn from the stumble.
There you go, and to keep going.
Well, but you got to realize that's the point, though, Ron. That's the problem. You have to realize that the stumble is not permanent. It's a lesson.
Right.
And a lot of us don't ever realize that it's a lesson. We use it as the crutch to say, well, I would have, but I stumbled.
But it's because they fear failure.
Right.
And
the other part of it for us as a people is I can't pretend if I'm stumbling.
Say that again. Say that. Wait. Say that again.
I can't pretend to be successful. I can't front. I can't. Show my who I am, who I want to be. I can't pretend to be that if I'm stumbling. So I'm going to avoid the stumble, settle back, and pretend that I've actually already made it.
Well, hell, you just killed all the Joneses because that's what people do every day.
That's what we do every day. That's what we do every single day.
You just said, well, hold on, wait a minute, because you just kind of threw me off with that one. You spent the car and then you took it down the road, and I'm looking like, oh, how did we get here? But then I was like, oh, I know how we got here because he's right. Man, you just described all of social media.
Social media, entertainment, you pretty much hit a bird body.
So when I take my phone and do this at the concert, I've made it. But when I do this on my vacation, hey,
we're pretending.
I've made it.
Yeah, we're pretending. And we become excellent at pretending.
Well, you're pretending if you're broke and you're doing it.
Right. We're no longer pursuing. We've stopped pursuing because that didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out. So I'm done with that. Now I'm just going to pretend my way through life. A lot of us are good at it. But listen, there are people on this here podcast that are plugging away daily, trying to get to where they want to be in life.
But don't you got to set your expectations at the right level to get to where you need to be?
Well, what does that mean, Ron?
Got to know your limit, man.
Should there be a limit?
At some point, it has to be.
Say that again, Ron. Say that again.
Yeah, I mentioned something.
Do you need to know what your limit is?
Do we all have limits? Do we have limits?
I think everybody has a limit. If your goal was to be an NBA player, but your ass can't shoot a 12-footer, there's a limit.
That's a limit.
But that might not be a limit in the fact that the limit might be the limitation you put on yourself because your ass didn't want to work hard.
But also is a limitation on your talent of what you can get to.
Maybe, but I'm gonna tell you something. I've seen a lot of people. Well, I'll speak. I won't even speak in a hypothetical. I'll speak in a very specific nature. There's a young lady right now. Mama Noise knows her very well. We've kind of mentored her, if you will. She was a world-class gymnast, and she tore up her wrist to the point where she had to have a major surgery on both wrists, and it ultimately ended her career as a gymnast. She was on track to become an Olympic gymnast. She was training with the same girls that we just saw compete this past Olympics last year. She was training with those girls. She was in that group. Tore up the wrist 4 or 5 years ago. She had to stop. So it ended her career as a gymnast. She had the surgery and decided, I don't want my journey as a sports person to end this way. She took up basketball. She let her wrist heal. She took up basketball. She tried to play AAU but couldn't latch onto a team because she had never played basketball before. When she started, she was skillless, absolutely skillless. All she had was a work ethic. That's it. Fast forward 3 years later, 4 years later, she is now receiving college scholarships to become a college basketball player. Now, how did she do it? Because this is not a young lady that came in skilled. She didn't come in with skills as a basketball player. She didn't have a talent for this at all. She just decided, I want to be a basketball player, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to do it.
But her skill was the fact that she wanted to work hard. She wanted to learn how to do it, and she wanted to do something else. It was her skill.
Skill as much as it was a desire. Like she just
desire.
Well, but there's a difference, Ron, because with a skill, that's something that you have the ability to do. She literally did not have that ability.
But you can learn a skill too.
You can, that's my point. You can learn a skill. And she decided, I'm going to learn this skill. And I'm going to push through the hard times, through the times where I can't dribble. I'm dribbling off my foot. I don't know which way to go. I don't understand what they're talking about. I don't understand this drill. I don't understand nothing about this sport. She pushed through all of that to get to the point where college coaches are literally calling her saying, we want you to come here.
And she's less than 1% of the people that can do that.
But that was actually the part that I was trying to get to, Ron. The saving yourself. Is it just a situation where there's just not many of us who are willing to keep going through the tough times? Like that, there's no easy path to success. There just isn't. I know we want it to be. I know there's no easy path.
There's no easy path to anything.
I remember, Ron, watching you in high school, and you correct me on the number because I won't remember the exact number. But remember we had that fundraiser where y'all lifted weights, the football team lifted weights, and we would pay y'all for so many pounds that you could lift or whatever. And you break the deadlift record? And wasn't it like, it was some ridiculous number? It was like
600.
Yeah, it was 600. Well, that's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to just toss a number on top of you and it wasn't right. So, yeah, I remember watching you do that going, how the hell is he doing that? Like he's lifting 600 pounds off of his back. Like it wasn't like it was nothing because it was definitely something. But it was amazing to me to watch you do that. But then the next thought, because I'm inquisitive like that, I'm looking at guys, and with all due respect to my brother right here, I'm looking at guys on that same team that were bigger, that could not do it, could not come close to doing it. So I'm saying, how did Ron have the wherewithal to keep pushing past 300, past 400, past 500 to say, I think I can get this 600?
It was the want. I wanted to do it. And
why did you want to do it?
It's just something that, I wanted to prove that I could do it. I wanted to say, yeah, I can do this. I don't want to ever stop. I didn't want to lose. When I couldn't get 500, I worked at it and worked at it till I got 5. Then it was like, oh damn, you got 5. Oh, do 550. It was just a work ethic of keep doing it to get better. Don't ever stop and limit yourself. Just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it.
And Ron, you, which I knew you would do, you actually answered my question or my statement for me. Where are the people that in them say, I want to keep going farther than the limitations say I'm supposed to go? The limitations say I'm supposed to stop here, that this is the line as far as I can go. And you say, nah, I can look past that line and see some more field out there that I can conquer, that I can knock down, that I can get to. And you just kept going, bro. You just kept going. I think, I'm not bragging, but I think a lot of that can be said about what we're doing here. We're not at the millionaire status at this company yet, but we see ourselves getting somewhere. And so every day we get up and we keep going. And it's not easy. And someday we'll write a book about that part.
Oh, Lord.
But at the same time, to keep going despite the challenges is the hard part. And so here's the difficult part of what I'm about to say. Wow, this is really hard. It's part of the reason why we can't save ourselves. It's because we keep waiting on a life preserver instead of learning how to swim.
But see, it's easy to wait for the life preserver.
It's easy.
I don't have to do shit for the life preserver. Somebody's going to come save me. Somebody's going to play Captain Saver for me.
For me. Yeah.
and it's easy for me to do it because that's how everything's set up now. Everything's set up for you to get it. Everybody wants it's privilege. It's owed to me. Damn it, I should get it. That's not the case.
Ron, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Mama Noise, jump in here as well. I think that's also one of the things that we've done to our children. Because now I'm starting to see young people who feel like they're entitled to success. Like they're entitled to it. Like I'm supposed to have this because I'm whoever I am. And I'm like, that's not how this works. Who told you this? Where did you get this horrible lesson from? That you don't have to work to get yourself to where you're trying to go.
We are responsible for that. When we don't make our kids work, like you remember, we used to have summer jobs. You as a young man, where they say you want something different for school clothes. Cut that grass for somebody. Go out there and cut that grass. Go on out there and sell some lemonade. Get your lemonade stand and sell some lemonade. Or you want to. I mean, odd jobs that we would find ourselves. I remember picking. They had bag worms or something like that at the complex one time. They was like, if y'all can take all these bag worms off of here, we'll pay y'all. But we don't know the value. We do. Our kids don't know the value of work. So now we have this guilt that we carry saying, I don't want my kids to have to do all of what I had to do when I was here. Some of that stuff, I get it. That's not the stuff you want to pass along. But some of that stuff you need to pass along. Some of that stuff your kids do need chores weekly. They need to see the consistency of every Saturday morning when my mama turned on the OJs, your tail was getting up and you was going and cleaning the house. It wasn't negotiations. It wasn't, oh, they done had a hard work. They done had a hard week this week. They had a couple of projects. They don't have to go out and do. Yes, they do. Get your tail up. This house ain't run on love. It's run on you being an active participant in this house. But we be like, no, I don't want my kids to have to do that because, they going through, enough already. What have they gone through? What have they gone through that we don't want to give them no chores and we don't want to give them no responsibility or accountability? And then when they get to a certain age, we expect for them to already have it.
Wow.
And it really depends on what it is that you want them to do. And you know how we were. Hell, we had jobs all the way through high school.
I was sitting there thinking when Mama Noise said that, Ron, I was saying, from my freshman year on, I had a summer job.
Not even a summer job. A lot of us had jobs.
A lot of us had jobs. Like there was an all year round job. Now I will give my mom credit, like for in-year stuff, she was like, I don't want you working because I want you to try to get a scholarship. So she knew I was, we played ball and all that stuff. So she tried to be like, no, I don't need you doing that part. I just need you to focus on just school. But in the summer, all bets was off. She was like, go get you a job. If you want school clothes, get you a job. And that's what we did. In the summer, we got jobs. We worked at wherever.
And we didn't care where we worked.
It was always somebody offering summer job. The state, the city had
the city, the state fair.
Everybody had jobs for
Derby.
And that's why a lot of we talk about, like right now they're saying, man, there's no jobs. I mean, no, there's so many jobs and not enough people. Well, we ain't the one. We ain't training up these teenagers to do no work.
I'll even throw it a step further. I think the work ethic of our generation and the generation that have come after us, or the lack of work ethic, because this is kind of difficult to say, but it's the truth, I think. I think our inability to press through consistently through the challenging barriers of having to, like you said, Mama Noise, be accountable or be responsible for ourselves is the challenge. the lesson that we didn't know we were leaving on the table was that is the lesson, the most necessary lesson that it takes to push through to the whatever level of success that you're going to go to. Like Ron, you said, I listen to what you just said. I went to 500. I wanted to go more to 550. I went to 550. I wanted to go more. I went to 600. But guess what? I see you doing that same thing in your day-to-day job now. You're saying, I want to be the best I want to be at my job. I want to be as good as I can be at this job. So you push and you push and you push and you push. And so the work ethic of the lessons you learned didn't get lost in translation. I think a lot of our stuff is getting lost in translation because we're not allowing them to even learn the language of perseverance.
Well, but you got to think about what changed. So we came up, it was rough. The one thing we always said was, I want my kids to work smarter, not harder.
That's true. That's very true.
We went to get away from hard labor that we were doing to get them to use their brains more, get them to look to do things a lot smarter than what we did. So that's kind of where that work ethic kind of dropped, because everything that's out there now that people are trying to get is labor jobs. Kids don't want a labor job because we taught our kids, you don't need to work 70 hours a week.
Well,
you need to find a job that you can do 40 and make the money that you need to make. And that should happen. And that's what every generation should get better.
And I'm okay with that, Ron. I'm really okay with that. But I still want you to have a work ethic.
I mean, I'm saying, because when I was in high school, it was you like, okay, I worked at Hardee's. It wasn't no hard labor. I worked the drive-through window, or I worked in the lobby. But I also learned how to sweep the floor. I also learned how, I didn't take the trash out, but I also learned how to make sure to help other people. You know, I was always in some form of leadership role. You know, okay, the trash is full. Robert, can you go take the trash out? I got you. The trash is out. Okay, I need somebody to go over and take care of the lobby. Okay, so it helped me to strengthen my role, or my chops, if you will, as a leader. Mm-hmm. And you know, but you don't learn those type of leadership skills sometimes if you don't have hands-on. And a lot of these, let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you that I went to a Papa John's about a year ago, and the guy at the cash register did not know how to count money back to me.
Well, none of these ninjas know how to do that.
If the machine didn't tell them what the amount was, then he was sitting there looking at me. I said, "You owe me $2." He like, "What?" I'm like, "Boy, you better get you a calculator if you don't know it was a sad commentary." But that right there was an example of, you think that you can just roll off in this thing, you know, because, I graduated from high school. But look, you need some skills. You need to learn some stuff, hands-on stuff. And it don't mean that you got to be lifting no bricks and all this hard labor, but we do need to try to strengthen some of these kids. They all jelly-backed and cupcakey. You can't say nothing to them with a mouth folding up. And our whole life is just so, get yourself together. You just like, come on here.
Well, let me say this. My big thing with all of what you just said, I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying, but I also agree with what Ron said. I don't necessarily need my kids to work harder than I worked. I do want them to work smarter, but I do want them to have what you just said, a work ethic. I want you to have a discipline, because what you're essentially talking about, Mama Noise, is having the discipline to push through to do the job to the best of your ability at all times. And that discipline, and coupled with a determination to be the best at what you do, should lead to a measure of great success. It should, at least it has historically. Like, the people that do that tend to be successful. They tend to win. They tend to get the promotion. They tend to get their business off the ground. They tend to make the millions of dollars. They tend to have success. And it goes back to what I said about Kanye. Man, listen, that dude invested in himself. He invested in himself. He was like, in order to make this work, in order to build this album, I gotta invest in me. I gotta trust me. I gotta push through. I gotta stay up late. I gotta travel. I gotta spend my own money. I gotta do what I gotta do to make this work. And by the way, I am this year's old learning that his first album is also his most successful one. He went 4 times platinum on College Dropout.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea. I was like, I thought Graduation would have been the most successful one, or Watch the Throne, or whatever. But no, his most successful album was the first one. But it makes sense when you see the documentary, because you look at all the hell he had to go through to get it made.
Mr. Noise, listen, anytime we've watched the Shark Tank, all the millionaires and billionaires that after they've heard the pitch, the first thing that one of the first things they say is, how much money have you invested?
Right.
They don't say, we just want to come save you. Tell me how much it takes to, now they will, invest if that's something they like. But the one thing they said is, how much have you invested? Because if you don't believe in what it is, you expect us to believe and give our money when you don't believe enough to put your own money?
Well, because
and
if
sometimes
you don't believe in it yourself, you're not gonna work for it.
Right. And sometimes the investment isn't financial. Sometimes the investment is you making it up in your mind that I'm going to work this business 40 hours a week or 70 hours a week or whatever the investment is. Because I'll take sweat capital. I'll take that as an investment. If you putting the labor in to, one of the things I tell my girls, I say, y'all don't have no money right now, but you have time. So learn what it is you want to do. Learn it. Take the time to go. You got time. You ain't doing nothing in the room but playing games. Turn off some of them games and use that time to do. So that's what they do. They turn the TV off sometime and they say, how do I learn this language? How do I learn how to do this thing? How do I invest in myself and my craft and get better at it?
But so ask yourself this question. What are we teaching our kids to invest in on themselves? What do we promote? What is Black people promoting for these kids to invest in?
As a whole, as a culture?
It's a culture.
Oh, man. Man.
You know the answer. We talk about it all the time. We don't promote entrepreneurship. We don't promote doctors and lawyers. We don't promote none of that stuff.
But that's because that would require you to get ahead of me.
But we will promote your ass to run a football down the field. We'll promote your ass to dribble basketball. We'll promote a rapper.
We'll promote all those things. We'll promote you getting a new job. We just don't break away from the flock and try to do nothing on your own, though.
Ron, you gonna say that and bring the whole thing down. Now I'm just depressed. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But think about how much time and effort they put into promoting a kid to do that versus promoting a kid to really elevate themselves.
It is very true. It is because, so let me say this. Like, I'll give you an example. I've watched my oldest daughter invest in herself. If I'm being honest, I've never seen anybody really quite like her. Like, she is a student of her industry. She learns and is learning daily what it means to be an animator. That's why I know she's going to be a phenomenal one, because she puts the time in. Her and her sister, they put the time in. They know stuff about animation and anime and all that stuff that I could have never even dreamed of. And then they're even willing to go even further, and they say, well, we also want to invest in languages because we feel like languages are going to be a part of what we do. Man, that's not a field that everybody's trying to dive into. You know what I mean? They just not. And I like what you said about your own children, man, watching how you got to take them under your wing and say, let me show you how to be the greatest at what you're trying to accomplish. And you're literally taking them by the hand to go do it. That's what we're talking about, man. We got to start challenging our kids as to where they're placing their time. Thank you. That's what I'm saying, Sean.
What is it, man?
What is time worth? That's a great way to say it. Great way to say it. What is time worth? Does it mean anything? Because now, here's the other part of it. Oh, man, here's where it gets sticky. if you're not demonstrating to your families and your children that time is worth something, it's not going to mean any more to them than it means to you.
Because time is valuable.
It is valuable, but if they see you wasting time, what do you think they're going to do?
Yeah.
They're going to waste time too. And I think we can't save ourselves when we don't value the things that it takes to do it, the tools that it takes to do it. Like you said, where you put your investment, how you spend your time, all of those things are so critically important, because if you don't do that, man, you can't win. You cannot win. Man, that's heavy stuff, man.
Because I think we was talking about it not too long ago about sleep. How many hours should you really sleep? If you're spending a lot of your time sleeping, you ain't achieving.
So I'm gonna tell you something, man. That's one of the areas I struggle with. I know I gotta get better balance in it, but in my mind, I want to maximize my time. So I admittedly, and I'm probably wrong for this, but I admittedly will work 18, 19 hours and sleep 5. Now, that's probably not the right way to handle it, but I'm trying to maximize my time. I'm trying to push through. I feel like the only person that's going to help us get to where we're trying to get to, and that's not to say that everybody, please don't misunderstand what we're saying. We're not saying people aren't going to help you on your journey. That's not what we're saying. But nobody's going to be as passionate about your journey than you are. Nobody is.
And if they are more passionate, than you are, you got a problem.
Right. You actually have a problem.
Nobody should be more passionate than you are.
Nobody. Actually, if they're more passionate about your journey than you are, it's not your journey. It's theirs.
They're about to take your stuff.
They're about to take your journey.
And the other reality of that is nobody is going to help you until they realize how committed you are to your journey. Then people will step in. People are not willing to step in because human beings in general, we do a lot of thinking. We do a lot of starting of things, but rarely do we have the discipline to follow through with what we start, and even rarer do we have the stick-to-itiveness to finish it. It takes discipline and the ability to stick to it in order to see something through. And once people see that you are truly committed to something, then people are willing to help.
I trust people that know how to grow things more than I trust anybody. Here's what I mean by that. People that grow things understand that fruit and vegetables don't just pop up out of the ground the day after you plant the seed. They understand that in order to get a harvest, your number one thing is to take time. It takes time. And you got to wait, but also work. You got to work the field and work the ground, but you still got to wait. And there's nothing you can do about the seed. But what you can affect is the stuff around the seed. You can make sure weeds don't choke the seed out. You can make sure stuff don't get in and steal the seed, animals and insects and all types of stuff. You got to work the ground yourself. I trust people that understand that because those are people that have a patience about them and yet still a determination to keep going even when the fruit or the vegetable doesn't grow as fast as you want it to. And our point is, we got to pull people back from this instant gratification model of success. If I go, because here's the other part of it. Now I'm going to say something. It may be offensive to people that watch this show now or later, but I'm just saying it from a real place. There's a social media artist or content creator by the name of Lily Singh. Lily Singh is a brilliant content creator. She's very, very funny, very, very brilliant. She worked her social media content world to a place of millions and millions of followers. She's one of the top creators in the world. And she did it so much so that NBC offered her the late show behind, what's the boy's name? Not Jimmy Fallon. The one comes on after Jimmy Fallon. Oh gosh, Seth Meyers. She had a show that came on after Seth Meyers. Now, admittedly, that show, if Jimmy Fallon comes on at 11 Eastern and Seth Meyers comes on at 12 Eastern, Lily Singh would come on at 1 in the morning, right? So she was given the opportunity. Granted, it was late. She was given the opportunity to come on and do that show. Well, I don't think the show's on anymore. I was looking for it last night. It wasn't there. Now, is that because social media gives you such an instant gratification that it fools you into thinking that you understand the journey of hard work? I don't know. Because a viral video can turn you into an overnight success.
Yeah.
But that don't mean you have discipline.
The one thing I liked about when you said you like people who grow things. So you like people that raise children too.
Yeah.
Because just like planting the seed, raising a child.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing.
And you may not see it in that child for quite some time.
You're gonna have to be patient. You're gonna have to water. You're gonna have to protect. You're gonna have to watch. You're gonna have to do the same thing you do with that child. The same damn thing you doing them vegetables that you're growing in that damn garden. So
keep the roaches away from your child.
Keep roaches away. No crackheads away. You know, keep all the people away from them kids. It's the same thing.
You know, that sounds biblical. That, you know, there are some things. Hush, Kyrie. There are some things that, you know, the Bible talks about. Some may water, some may plant seeds, and you may not get an opportunity to see the fruition of the seeds that you planted. I remember a young man that I mentored in college when I worked for Collin College, and he was, you know, a good young man. He had a good heart. But I didn't, you know, I'm sure he didn't know the direction he was going in. And I mean, now he's got a flourishing accounting firm and he's happily married. He looked like new money. That's not the young man that I had that I was mentoring at that time. But, you know, I kind of, you know, I didn't get to walk with him throughout the whole part of it.
Right.
But, you know, now that I stand back and look at it 12 years later, it's like, wow, I didn't see that coming. But I'm glad that I was able to witness, you know, knowing what was happening before and then where he is now. I think that's encouraging when you get that opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Why is it so hard? And I know Cuz is going to say the black father, but I'm going to say it anyway. Why is it so hard to get this message throughout the black community to keep going?
Oh, my gosh.
It's not hard to get it out to the black community.
We're not seeing it all throughout the black community.
The question is, why don't they listen?
You think the message is out there?
The message is there. The message has always been there. I just don't think they're listening.
What message? That it's up to you? What?
It's up to you. Yeah, that it's up to you. That you have to keep going, that you have to have patience, that you have to fight through the rough times to get order to have your success. Is it that we just, quite honestly, like you said earlier, Ron, is it just that it's so much easier to wait for the life preserver instead of trying to learn to swim? It's just that simple.
No, or that's what we're teaching them. We're teaching them
to wait for the life preserver.
We're teaching them to wait for the life preserver.
Ooh, God. Well, then we really are in trouble.
Don't worry about it. Mom and Daddy got it. You ain't got to figure it out. You ain't got to work it out. Mom and Daddy will come in there and rescue. There were many, 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 many times that I would have loved for my parents to come in and rescue. But I'm not saying this was the right thing. I'm just saying a whole lot of those things I had to figure it out. But I think we just like, you know what? I don't know if they can figure it out. So let me come in and rescue them just in case.
No, there's more black fathers rescuing their kids now than there ever been.
Is it?
We didn't have those black fathers back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, but all of a sudden, a lot of more Captain Save-A-Hole fathers out there than there's ever been.
Captain Save.
Did you just call the kids hoes? Like,
I'm just saying.
it just feels like you just call the kids hoes.
Just gotta get under Cuz's thumb a little bit. He's been awful quiet, so But think about it, man. I mean, we're in our kids' lives a lot more than our fathers before us were in our lives, and a lot of people in our generation are really in their kids' lives a lot more than the guys in the people that raised us was. So there's a lot of people in our generation, and a lot of guys I hung out with, guys I see all the time. They're raising their kids, and they are doing those things that, hey, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. It may not look that way. I know, because it's like, nah, Ron don't look like that, but it is a lot more of us out there doing it than what people really see.
If you give me an excuse to not do my work, I'm going to use it.
I'll take it, yeah.
Take it every time.
We have given ourselves excuses to not do our work. So that when I do come up against that wall, and we all do, I can now blame something else for my situation. Many of us find comfort in doing that versus the struggle of continuing to fight. I am where I am because of me and nobody else. Because I know my situation. I know what my parents went through. I know the struggle of racism. I know how they didn't want us to learn how to read. I know how they tried to keep us out of knowing about finances. I know what was done. Yet I still don't do because of me. I know the system is stacked against me. If I go to jail, the system is going to try to keep me in the system. It's never going to let me go. But yet, I do what I do to me. Then I complain about the system. Now, don't misunderstand me. The system's not fair. Don't misunderstand me. But I put myself in the system more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
So when we stop using the crutch of what's been done to us, and despite what's been done to us, I will rise. I'm going to do my part. Part of the reason why I've said it before, part of the reason why I'm a good dad is because I'm so sick of sorry ass dads and what it's doing to our community.
Right.
I'm appalled by it. So damn it, I refuse to be it. The reason why I married a black woman is because I have a heart for black women. And I hate the way that they're being done in this country by us. So because I consider myself a halfway decent guy, I know Mama Noise don't think I'm decent. I know. Right?
I don't think she's ever said that. She didn't say that.
Because I consider myself a halfway decent guy.
Now she has said 3/4.
I want to give myself to my people, to my black woman.
Mm-hmm.
If it's up to me, it's up to me to make it happen.
If it is to be, stop butchering the saying. If it is to be,
you know what
to me.
I'm saying. You know what the fuck I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
That was aggressive. That was very aggressive.
To me, it's up to me.
Okay.
Because trust me, you know, I agree with my pastor 99.2% of the time.
Oh, here it
There's
is.
a 0.8.
Wait a minute.
There's a 0.8 that usually we're off. And like I said, we always believe in our black women. I always have, always will. I love a strong black woman. I love an independent black woman. You'll never heard me say anything other than that.
Okay.
I don't ever know when black women were never strong. I never knew when black women were never independent. It's always been that way in my entire life. But just as much as we screwed up the black woman, other black women have screwed up black women.
Oh, sure.
So
wow.
we black men can take 90% of it, and I'm willing to give black men 90% of it. But I need my black women to work on that other 10%. Start uplifting each other, holding each other accountable, just like we got to hold our black men accountable. Our black women got to do the same thing,
Sure.
and it has to start while they're young.
But I do agree with what Cuz is saying in this regard. We can't hand off individually all of the things societally or everything that's in our lives to other people, because here's the reality: a lot of us got missing fathers, a lot of us got missing mothers, a lot of us got hardcore situations that we've endured, traumas, pains, difficulties, etc. The whole lot. Doesn't change the fact that if you want success, it's going to come through you.
Got to learn to deal with the trauma.
You got to learn to deal with it. And it's so funny because, so full disclosure, I'm about to let the noisemakers in on a little something. And if you left early, shame on you, you just missed out. We've been working on the book here lately. And one of the people that we've been working with the book with, he called us today and was like, bro, I'm over here in tears because you just reminded me I got to do the work. He said, in my life, with my marriage, with my situation, I got to do the work.
Yeah.
It's not going to get fixed because I want it fixed or because she does something or she changes and becomes a better person and blah, 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 blah. He said, you reminded me I got to do the work. I got to do my own work. And I think we keep, like, Ron, you said the most eloquent thing to me of the whole entire podcast today. We are waiting for the life preserver because it's easier. But the life preserver doesn't guarantee it's gonna save you. Y'all remember Titanic? That boy died on that raft. And she let his ass drift off into the cold, dark, murky water. Now, granted, he put her on the boat to save herself first, but he died on that thing. So it's not as simple as waiting on somebody to save you. That's powerful to me, man. That's a powerful statement that's being made because the reality is we gotta do the work.
Yes, sir.
You gotta do the work, man.
That's the hardest thing for people to realize, man, is to do that damn work.
Yeah. It really is, Ron. It really is. Because
every morning. What's the first thing you do every morning when your alarm go off and you roll out your bed? First thing, I hate my damn job. I get my black ass up every morning, get myself together, go to work.
Well, the thing that you just said, get myself together. That's the first. That's honestly the first thing I do. I get myself together. I have to, before I can get my family together, before I can get my wife together, before I can get anything else together, I got to get myself together. I got to get up, put my feet on the ground, unball from whatever mess of body mess I got going on, arms hurting, legs hurting, whatever, and get myself together.
Yeah.
It starts with me. And I think that's hard, man,
even with our guest that we had on yesterday, she said that, she was working in the school system doing this and that, trying to, but then she said, it stopped being fun to her, which, not saying that there wasn't work being done, but she was just saying that it used to be about the kids. Now it's not. And then she said, you know what? She had to pivot and finally take the leap on the thing that she wanted to do. But it doesn't mean that just because you're taking the leap on the thing that you want to do means that you're not going to get, you're not going to have to work anymore.
Right.
It means that at least you ain't got to say, I hate my job. I'm going to do something that I want to do. And I'm going to give as much effort to that I did when I was working for people that could care less about me. And when she said that, she took that same passion, that same desire, and all of her skills and opened and did 3 businesses: home health care, tax preparation, and credit repair business. She's like, I'm going to take all of my gifts and put it towards something that I'm passionate about. And she could have been like, oh, like I hear, and I'm gonna tell you, I was the same person. And we ain't got it all figured out, but I'm gonna tell you, I used to do the same thing. I'd get up in the morning and be like, Lord, I can feel this job in the base of my spine.
Yeah.
I don't want to go in here.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing I had about it was not just that I don't want to go in here. I felt in my heart of hearts that I had no value in this place. It's like I'm here, and I felt like I was wasting away in the shadows, because it was like, all I'm doing is just, it was feeling like a glorified babysitter. I was like, okay, but what, there are things that I want to do. No, they don't care about that. Just make sure you're watching them kids.
Man.
But you will, but Mama Noise, you will waste away, and you will die on the vine if you keep letting someone else be the life preserver. If you keep waiting on someone to define your worth. And I just, man, it's it's funny. And I keep going back to this because it's just a great foundational piece to what we're talking about today. Again, I'm watching this documentary, and Dame Dash is there, and Jay-Z is there. And Jay-Z's already validated Kanye as a rapper. He said, man, the dude got bars. Okay, I like what he's doing. Mm-hmm. But he did not wait. They would not. Once he had the accident. Now, to be fair, he had a car accident, ripped up his jaw, and so I understood to some degree why they put his album on the shelf and said, let's give him time to heal and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But in his mind, he's like, no, man, I want to do this right now. And in order to prove to them that I'm ready and it's time and it's now, I got to do what I got to do. And he didn't wait on them to decide his future. He decided his future. And I think that's kind of what we're all saying. Not even kind of, that is what we're all saying. I can determine my own worth. I believe this is my whole heart, what I'm about to say. Me and Mama Noise are millionaires right now. And what I mean by that is we're sitting on $1 million ideas right now. We know that they're $1 million ideas. We know that it's worth it. We know that the world's not seen anything like this before, that they've not heard anything like this before. We know that this is I know the worth of this podcast. I know what it is. Nobody ever seen nothing like this before. Ain't nobody had no podcast. Listen to podcasts all the time. They don't sound like this. They don't sound like this. They don't have these type of people on it. They don't have these type of opinions on it. They don't have these type of dialogues on it. I know what this is worth. So the reason why we keep going is because of that. Because of that. Because we're saying at some point we're going to crack that glass ceiling and get on to the next level.
Mm. But it's also your passion. At all the stuff that you do, all the stuff that you've done, dude, this is your passion. You can make $1 million, you can make $1. This is your passion.
Yeah. Clearly, it's my passion because we're at the dollar stage right now.
Right. So that's the thing. And that's what you love to do. So you're going to do what you love to do.
Yeah.
And most people who do what they love to do and constantly do it end up being successful. And everybody's success is different. Some people's success is money. Some people's success is, hey, I changed a bunch of people's lives. You got to determine what is your success. What are you looking for from your success?
And one doesn't have to be mutually exclusive over the other. You can have both.
You can get both.
But one may take more time to get to than the other. That's the problem that I think a lot of us get frustrated about. Well, man, the money ain't coming. I'm losing money. Well, yeah, you might lose some money. You may lose some time. But if you keep going, I just believe, man, you're going to crack the code at some point.
Yeah, I've yet to see a great invention, a great idea make money immediately.
Right. Oh, Ron, that's good. That's good.
Well, I'll tell you one that you didn't expect. You didn't expect nobody to pay for water in a bottle.
Man. When you get right out of tap.
Hey, matter of fact, even today, water in a bottle sounds ridiculous.
And the guy who said that yes, they will, they was like, no, they won't. They will not pay for something that's free.
And people pay for it every
time you turn around. But this water is better because it's from Fiji.
It's Fiji water. It's the same water at the damn faucet down the street.
No, this water got more alkaline.
And how do we know that? Do we really even know that?
We take your word for it. I ain't got an alkaline meter.
Right. It could be, you could have got this out of a water hose in the back of your yard and just sticking it in a bottle.
Right.
And putting a fancy name on it. Avion. It's Avion water. And we like, okay. And we sit and drink it and convince ourselves it's the greatest thing.
And then you say that'll be $5.
But think about it. You can go to the store, buy a case of water, 24-pack of water for $3.
Yep.
Take it to your small business, your corner store. Put that same 24-pack of water in your freezer, and you'll make $24 off of it because you get yours at $1 bottle.
Or $3, depending on where you're at. You wait till the marathon comes. All the people out there that's hot. Well, we only selling them $2, $3 a bottle. That's robbery. You thirsty, ain't you?
Is it? Because you thirsty in the mug, ain't you?
You do at the fair. You go to the fair.
Oh, and the whole thing is upcharged. Everything is upcharged.
Come on.
You spent $3.95 and you made $24. That's a hell of a profit.
Listen.
Yeah.
We didn't think somebody would do that, but somebody and all you had to do is keep changing the label. Listen, this is Avion. This is Iceland water. This is alkaline water. This is Fiji water. You changing it to 6 different. I think it was a commercial or somebody had it was 10 different types of water.
Yeah.
And we are paying for it. You go to a nice restaurant or you go to a nice hotel, and in the little mini bar is some expensive water. But you like, well, at least we know it's good water. Because you got confidence in the people.
Confidence in it.
Right. You don't know. They don't know you from a can of paint. You don't know them either. But you're saying, you know what? It must be good because it's in this mini bar.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I tell you what, this has been very encouraging today. It has. I'm
like, is this sarcasm or what is that?
No. I'm
nervous when I heard the word encouragement.
I'm listening.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. We have a different definition.
You know what, Kyrie? This is not Saturday.
I feel like I encourage myself. No,
that's not.
You gotta be careful with encouragements.
That's not the same thing.
I personally like encouraging myself.
Oh my!
Listen, I've enjoyed it because I'm gonna tell you something, man. Some days you need to, when you're trying to pull yourself out of the mud, you have to remind yourself that it's possible. You have to remind yourself that it's possible. Every day is not great. Every day is not inspiring. Some days you have to fight to inspire yourself. You have to find the inspiration because it is hard. It is hard to keep going, especially when you don't see the results as fast as you would like to see them. But man, the keep going of it all, and then you hear people say, "Man, I see you. I recognize what you're doing. I recognize you keep going." And then some of those people even bless you. They'll say, "Hey, here's a little something for your journey. Here's a little something for you. Or let me pat you on the back, or let me give you this word of encouragement, or whatever it is." And you just have to fight through to get to the other side. But man, I like shows like today because it reminds you that you got to keep going, despite what it is, despite what it looks like. You got to keep going.
Wow, you got a message this morning of encouragement. Yes,
I did. I was like I was saying earlier.
Wrong show.
We got that phone call.
It was.
Oh,
Someone inbox on on Noise Maker page to tell Mr. Noise that he was doing a great job.
What?
The person you said, who is this person? And your on the Noise.
Oh yeah. I didn't even know who that was. I was like, who is that? But yeah.
You really want to make Mr. Noise feel that he's doing a good job. Them 200 stars go a long way.
That is true.
I don't think people understand it. Is the reason why they because I don't see anybody saying I'll just hold on to these 200 stars when you really don't have anywhere to quote post them if there's not a lot of different pages participating. Mm-hmm. So if you got a clear understanding of that, Mr. Uncorked Wine,
I mean, if you're on your phone and right where your comment is, if you look right above, right where your section is, typing your comment on your phone, you'll see send 200 stars. Click on that send 200 stars, and you can send 200 stars right to the noise makers instantly. It'll pop up on the screen. Hey, you got 200 free stars that you can send. If you want to send more than 200 stars, you can go through and they have different options of different stars you can pick. If you're on your laptop, same thing. Right where comment section is, you'll see a little thing that says send stars. And just you click on it and you can send, there's free 200 stars you can send now for I think it's like 10, 12 days left, 8 days left of the free 200 stars. After that, there's different ones you can choose, different like 50, 25, and it kind of goes.
Oh yeah.
And you can select those different stars.
Listen,
so great calls.
Last night on the 5, and I'm gonna give a shout out to him because he deserves the shout out. Raekwon Bartlett, that guy was stars to the left, stars to the right, stars to the left. I've never seen. I mean, it was so many stars he sent that Facebook popped up in the news feed and said, "Do you want to start a star party? Do you want to start a star party?"
It's right there, people.
Yeah, right there next to your comment. There's a little yellow star.
Get your star. You can't miss it. It tells you right there.
Send it, and
you can star.
I mean, don't let them go to waste. That's the part. Don't let them go to waste where all you got to do is send your.
Don't give them back to Facebook.
I'm just saying they offered them to you, so you put them to good use.
That's good stuff, man.
They're gonna let you have them, use them.
Well, listen, one thing I'm super excited about always that this Saturday, the VNR Supper Club is on and popping.
Yep.
There is a new episode of VNR Supper Club this hero weekend. Do you have any updates for us, Ron, on the new episode of the VNR Supper Club?
My glasses that got delivered, so
they already there?
Got them, yeah.
Hey, what you do? Overnight them?
Prime.
You know what? I forgot you got connections.
I'll pay for Prime. I'm gonna spend that much money for Prime. I want my stuff delivered.
I don't remember Prime being that quick.
Oh no, it's gonna be a great weekend. Wanda's been a bird putting that stuff together, practicing, getting everything ready. So it's gonna be a fun weekend.
I've been seeing it online. She already posting pictures of her ricotta.
So it's gonna be a fun night, as always. We'll have 5 or 6 folks as usual. Of course, Al B. I gotta make sure Al B's here as well. So we'll have a good night. I think.
What is the VNR Supper Club without Al B? I mean, come on.
We'll have another 3-course meal. Some good drinks. We'll definitely have some good drinks as always.
Correction, Chad.
What do you mean by Barrett, not Bartlett? What does he mean?
He said I said it wrong.
Oh, okay.
I thought I said Barrett. I didn't know I said Bartlett.
I thought you said Barrett too. I don't know. That's what I was asking. I was like, I don't remember you saying Bartlett.
Well, for Chad's sake, I will say Raekwon Barrett.
I thought you said Barrett. I don't remember.
I did, but I will say it just for good measure.
Maybe you said Bartlett.
For Chad.
But heck, you got all kinds of stuff this weekend on Saturday, man. You got a
always.
day.
Always, man. Saturday is a busy day, but it's a fun day though.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I make no complaints about it.
We never know what's gonna pop off at the VNR.
I love the VNR Supper Club. I love it.
Something's gonna probably pop off. Just ain't figured out what it's gonna be yet.
I get to grill the ladies a little bit this weekend, don't I?
Yep. Well,
looking forward to that.
Yeah, we're still trying to work the table deal out, so we're still kind of playing around with that. But yeah, so it's gonna be fun.
We'll figure it out. If we can't do it this week, we'll postpone it to later.
Yeah, we'll still let you grill them, have a little fun, and like I said, the auntie will be here. Both aunties are supposed to be here, so.
Listen, ain't nothing like drunk aunties.
Both drunk aunties are supposed to be
here. I love a good drunk auntie.
Oh,
so that should be fun. Got a couple new ones. Friends of mine's, associates from work. They're supposed to be here, so it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna check with them today, make sure they're still good. They said it was good the other day, so they should be coming through.
We hope the weather cooperates.
Yeah. Man, we just had a little ice.
That'd be the other thing.
Yeah, we just had a little ice, so we should be good.
See, they put salt down there. That's why it's just a little something in Kentucky. Here, they will not put salt down, and that's why all cane breaks loose. Is because
it's been a nightmare.
Yeah, but I gotta. Vanda's got the meal. I gotta work on my drink. I gotta get my drink right.
Oh no!
Well, somehow I don't doubt that you're gonna figure it out. If I'm being honest here, I have a feeling you're gonna figure this out. You're pretty good at this drink thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tad bit strong. I do know that much.
Stronger than your 1,000.
I don't think that's stronger than that stuff.
It won't be that strong.
Okay.
I got drink it like once a month.
That's hilarious. I was trying to show y'all the video of some of the cars slamming into each other.
Oh, in Texas?
Ron, listen to me. 432. That was at the time of the newscast, the broadcast for our local news. Wow. Folk think that they can just drive any kind of way when ain't nobody dropping no salt, man. They dropping sand. They didn't brine the roads or nothing in advance, man.
Ice ain't no joke, man.
Ice is no joke.
Listen, I stepped out the door yesterday. Do you understand me? I stepped one step. I slipped and fell flat on my back.
Ooh.
I didn't even see the ice. It was the epitome of black ice. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So Lloyd's like, make sure you be careful. I was like, I didn't even get a chance to be careful.
That black ice, man, that stuff is brutal.
Man, that's bananas. It was
They
just
don't understand.
Ron, the grass, each blade of grass had ice on it. It was all the grass had ice on it. The cars had ice on it. Everybody's roof had, the trees had ice. I was like, Lloyd said, well, I'm gonna go out there after. Lloyd said, hey man, they had ice over at the mailbox, all on the pole, all on the platform. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. He said, maybe I can safely walk through the rocks. All the rocks had ice on. I said, okay, this is
that's pretty rough.
This is crazy.
We have to ship y'all some salt now.
They ain't gonna use it because they're more concerned about
everybody else.
They more concerned.
Yeah, I just need from where I'm walking.
Right? I'm saying at least get out early and say, you know what, as a courtesy, they could have went out and just get some bags of ice. I mean, bags of salt, rock salt, and put it on the sidewalks and stuff like that, so that anybody that steps out of their house, whatever. But I think it caught them all off guard. I don't understand. We have to do this every winter. It's like, you don't understand. Y'all don't watch TV. You know how to put the sign out there talking about make sure water's dripping from your pipes, to make sure your pipes bust. You don't think we don't want to bust our tails stepping out the front door because you ain't putting no salt down?
Yeah, it's pretty rough. And then the worst part about it is that they don't have any plan for the refreeze. Like, it's gonna get up to 32 today before the night, but then it's gonna refreeze again. So we back at square one tomorrow. So anyway, I digress. I don't want to bring people down.
Right.
hearts down to all things. We just fighting a good fight here in Texas. These are Texas problems.
It is. Somebody said that it's the winter and the spring fighting over custody of Texas.
Yeah. Oh well, I don't know if anybody wants them though.
Hell, it's spring on Monday, it's winter on Tuesday, it's spring on Wednesday. It's ridiculous.
I did this earlier in the show, but I want to do it again. Shout out to my cousin and noisemaker, Catherine. And I'm really showing the picture for one reason only. It's her birthday, but also look at this, y'all. Because normally I don't out a woman's age. You know, women don't like to talk about their age, but she put it up on her own page, so that's why I'm talking about it. She said this is my 70th birthday, and I looked at her picture. I was like, my God, 70 is she out here killing the game.
Listen,
70, man. Black be looking at 70 like, so.
Don't crack, man. Don't crack.
And then Sean Sanders.
Yeah, we'll give Sean love again. Happy birthday,
man.
Bruh.
Your daughter said it's your brother's birthday.
It is my little brother's birthday. He is, what is he? He's 30. No. He's 29.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's 29. Wow. What's his year? No, he's 31. I can't add.
I was going to say, he's in his 20s still?
No, he's 31. Because I'm doing the math reverse. In my mind, I'm saying I know he's born in 91. And so he's 31.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, oh, okay. Well, you should have just told me what year it was. I told you because I've been a Zeta 30 years this April.
No,
so
really? That's why I tell you.
She ain't gonna let that go.
What? You know what?
You ain't gonna let it go, bro.
Hey, like I said in my post yesterday, them Zetas, boy. Whew.
They pull up, don't they?
They be pulling up.
Hello? Sigma.
They be pulling up.
The brothers don't have time. They be busy. They be doing stuff during the day.
Zetas make time.
I'm just getting off the hospital bill from yesterday.
I know that was good yesterday, wasn't it?
He was like, thank you very much.
She's like, she saved you a whole bunch of money, didn't she?
Man, I was about to mail her shit off too.
He's like, hold up.
Y'all, SOL.
Never gave me that information.
Never getting this money.
He said, Ron said, hear me, good people in the hospital.
You ain't never getting this.
Until you pull that off, you ain't getting shit.
I didn't know it worked that way. I'll be honest with you. I tried to pay some stuff off last year. And I don't know if they
paid a whole lot. See that?
I'm waiting for somebody to call my house. I'm waiting for somebody to call me.
Don't even, man, listen.
Like, here's how this is gonna work.
Man.
Oh my God. Listen to me. She was blowing my mind with all that stuff. I'm sitting there going, what? All this time, the first thing that we've always been taught to do is just go through your credit report and just pay off everything.
Man.
But do you know what I didn't realize? We forgot to ask her. How many points typically does the pull off result into?
Right. That'd been good to know.
I forgot to ask her that part. I should have.
Well, for those people that want to have her services, I think the best way to find that out is to call a sister up and let her hook your stuff up. She knows what she's talking about, and she's well versed. She's very thorough, and like she said on a couple of her posts on her page, she was posting for those of you that still trying to get your taxes and stuff. She's like, hey man, I've already got tax checks that are already coming through. People are already getting their refunds back, and she said, when she said that yesterday about she calls the employer to make sure that they've got all the proper paperwork, calls the daycare to make sure they got all the proper paperwork. That's not something that your average tax preparer does.
Not at all.
That's a person that says, I'm gonna do the most. And sometimes you don't mind people doing the most if it's in your best interest.
Right.
Man, yeah. But
all right, good people.
She saved me some money.
All All right, good people. Listen, tomorrow we got everybody's favorite day of the week, Friday.
Black
We like to
Friday.
call it Black Friday. So we'll be up in here for that. And then you know what Saturday is. Saturday is just everything we didn't do on Friday, we're gonna do it on Saturday. So we're gonna have
last night I was watching last night's Uncorked Wine, cracking myself up here.
Last night's Uncorked Wine.
Last Saturday.
I'm sorry. Last Saturday's Uncorked Wine. I was watching it last night because I was like, sometimes you be going through your apps and stuff like that. You be like, man, ain't nothing on TV. Ain't nothing that, there's stuff on the apps, but I already know what they are. You can go to the Noisemaker page, or you can go to our YouTube channel, and you can pull up
channels.
Oh, I'm sorry. Our YouTube channels. And pull up the Uncorked Wine channel and see our past uncorked wines and have yourself a great time just by pulling it up whenever you're feeling like, man, you might be on your lunch break and say, man, I need to break free from what's going on at work right now, and I just need a good laugh. Just pull up the Noisemaker page.
I agree.
PSA on that at work. Take your ass to your car.
Right.
And listen to it on your lunch break. I'll put headphones in.
Hey, listen.
You might not want to do it on speaker.
Yeah, we NSFW for sure.
No, don't do that. And
we are NSFW. That is a warning when I say better not bring your kids. That's
don't bring your kids.
You best around lose your job, huh? But I listened to Uncorked Wine and lost my job.
Oh Lord, no, we don't want that.
We're blaming us for that.
Don't blame us, player. We told you at the beginning. Put some headphones in.
One big compound word: headphones. Do that. So there you go. All right, people. We will see y'all tomorrow. Love y'all. The Reese's Pieces will be back again, doing it all over on Talkin NOIZ.
We're talking noise. Talking noise.